I have been called a lot of different names relating to skin color, and I always find it fascinating that most of the time people think that the things that they are saying are a compliment, even when I find them to be like really offensive.
First started this semester, people come to me and like try to like get at me, I guess you could say, but they would say like, you're pretty to be dark skinned, and like you're the first dark skinned girl I've talked to, like, and they think that as a compliment, but it's really an insult to me as a person. Like, are you saying compared to a light skinned girl I'm not as pretty?
I think when you talk about the experiences of people of African descent in this country who have been through enslavement and been through all types of Jim Crow-ism and residential segregation, and school segregation, is that it plays out within our communities as well.
But what names I heard to describe African Americans?
Light skin, dark skin.
And then within the light, there's light bright.
Light bright.
Light bright.
Light bright and almost white.
Oreo.
Monotone.
Cracker.
Monochrome.
Mulatto.
Octoroon.
Quadroon.
Septune.
Yellow.
High yellow.
High yellow.
Probably the most inflammatory that I remember being called piss colored.
Piss colored yellow.
Piss colored yellow. Actually, I thought I was dark skinned until I went down south. They called me a red bone down there. They said, oh, you red.
Red bone.
Red bone.
Red bone.
Red.
Yellow bone. Lacquered.
Food analogies, chocolate, cocoa.
Chocolate.
Chocolate, caramel,
Walnut.
white chocolate, cocoa,
They had this weird thing in my school, like caramel pops.
toffee,
Coffee color is mocha. Mocha chocolate.
Cinnamon, caramel, all that.
mahogany, ebony. I mean, there's some really beautiful ones.
And then, of course, on the darker end of the spectrum, there's all the more derogatory terms like darky.
Darky.
Darky, blacky,
Black.
Jet black.
Blue black.
Blue black.
Blue black, tar baby,
Burnt.
burnt.
Crispy.
midnight black.
Boo boo black.
The black is night, the black is shit. Specifically, when you talk about the experiences of black folks, of African Americans in this country, although there are some very kind of uniform experiences, there's all types of experiences that are dictated by color and by hue.
I think people of different skin colors definitely get treated differently.
In our society, generally, light-skinned girls are considered prettier.
Among women, there's this pecking order sometimes.
I know dark-skinned girls talk about it all the time.
I would get told, you're pretty for a dark girl.
Boys make it clear, like, I like light-skinned girls.
So I always was aware of being more dark or being on that end of the spectrum, I'll say, as not being something as desirable.
If you're lighter, that's a preferable thing.
My dark-skinned friends always have that issue where they feel like the light-skinned friends in the group got the one up on them when we go out, when it's men, looking at, the clique, like, who do I want to talk to? Sometimes they feel like they're overlooked for lighter girls, and sometimes they are.
I don't discriminate, but I see a lot of light skin. They always do their thing. Seem like a lot of light skin always get cute and dress up.
The light-skinned girls were always like the cute girls, right? The cute girls that everyone was trying to holler at. It was acceptable if you were dark-skinned, if you were thick.
But I definitely love my dark-skinned ladies too.
Then the young brothers would be on the dark-skinned, thick sisters. The darker you were, the more objectified you were as a female.
I think some of the values that people have around skin color are really crazy.
The light-skinned guy's the pretty boy. All the girls want him, but then the dudes think he's soft. The dark-skinned dude is cool with all the guys, but the girls don't really want him because they think that he's uglier the darker that he is.
People have a thing in their mind that light is more attractive.
When I meet with a woman, they just always after the light-skinned guy in the group. I approach a female, like, what's up, girl? Woo, woo. She like, who is that over there?
I have seen some ugly mofos that dark-skinned girls have drooled over just because they were light-skinned. And I'm looking like, are we looking at the same dude? He is ugly.
It used to be that, you get more play or you get a job if you were more light-skinned. But you'd also, though, if you weren't black enough, that would also work against you, too. Because sometimes people really wanted someone who was really dark-skinned. Which is their way of saying you're black, because if you're light-skinned, you're not necessarily black.
Light-skinned black men have like a stereotype of being more militant because like they're overcompensating for not being as black as a dark-skinned man.
I always say, like my men like my coffee, which is black. There's that expression, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So sometimes that's like a positive thing. A person with really dark skin, they're going to be like if it's a guy, that's a positive thing if they're dark.
There's like an urban legend that the darker you are, the bigger package you have.
When it comes to color with the light bright thing or high yellow, sometimes it gives that connotation, this person's better.
She thinks she white. It's not even like a name, it's just an expression. She thinks she white.
But you get, categorized as having to be a certain way or having a certain attitude.
That must be my mentality if that's what I look like.
But I think it also depends on how they present, how they, manifest or carry themselves in the world, and that could have something to do with whatever internalized stuff they have going on, or it could have to do with the ways that color can be currency, how, whatever it is, this ranking or this meaning that's attached to how we look.
I'm thinking about my brothers, Ricardo or Richard, very dark, beautiful, smart, intelligent, much brighter than I. Was told day one, you're not going to amount to anything. Look at you. You don't look clean, because of the color of the skin. He's born with that skin color. What does that have to do with his being able to be successful? And I think about how he internalized it all. And he actually spent most of his life in prison. There is something related to color that we have bought as a society across the board that somehow associates excellence, associates promise, associates possibilities, associates competence, intelligence, worthiness with a lighter you. And somehow the darker you are, the less likely you are to be of any asset or let alone contribution or success in society.